Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to my channel. My name is Naima and I am welcoming you in everywhere you are in this world. Today, inshallah, I will talk about my journey to Egypt and how much it changed my life. Before we moved to Egypt, I was living in the States. Alhamdulillah, we were doing good there, but one thing that I've always wanted was to raise my children in an Islamic country. I have 4 children. My oldest is 11 now, but when we were moving here, it was 1 month before his 10th birthday. And my other 3 children are, I have a 6 years old, a 5 years old, and a 2 years old. Alhamdulillah, coming to Egypt was a blessing for us as a family. It was a great thing. It was the best decision that I made in my life, and I'm so proud of it. Alhamdulillah. Everything that's happening in my life right now, I am satisfied with it. Alhamdulillah. Before we moved here, my oldest started school when he was 3 years old. He started going to preschool at the age of 3, and the preschool that he was going was a public school. We lived in Minnesota and he went to school in Minnesota. When he was in kindergarten, I gave birth to my second child, and after giving birth to my second child, I wanted to move right away, but then somehow I couldn't move it. I wasn't able to move, Alhamdulillah, it wasn't written back then. And then I gave birth to my daughter the following year, and then 3 years later I gave birth to my son, my youngest. And even though before I even get married, I always had a dream to raise my children in an Islamic country. Growing up in the States myself, it wasn't for me a place to raise a child, but then it happened. Alhamdulillah, my son was almost 10 before we moved, and all that time I always wanted to move, but it didn't happen. It wasn't written for me, and things only happen when it's written for you. So my son was there at preschool, like it was preschool 1, preschool 2, KG, and then grade 1, 2, 3, 4. All those years he was in public school. And my second child was there, preschool 1, because he was 3, and then he went to preschool 2. My daughter started preschool 1. So I had 3 children at public school out of my 4 children at once, and it wasn't right to me. Like, something in my mind never said. I didn't want them to get their education from public school, but I had no choice. I felt like I had no choice because I couldn't do homeschooling for them. My husband was working most of the time, so basically I was a solo mom, and doing the housework plus doing a homeschool, I couldn't afford doing that. Like, mentally and physically I was already tired. That was the reason that I took them there. But then every time I dropped my children off to the school, I wasn't happy. Like, I was never happy. The reason that I wasn't happy was in public schools, it was just getting crazier and crazier, and children were exposed to so many things that I didn't want them to expose. As a Muslim person, a lot of things that my children were seeing or my children will think it's normal wasn't normal as a Muslim person. I didn't like a lot of things that was happening in the public school. Especially my oldest will come home and he will tell me all of these stories that he heard from the other kids, or things that's contradicted to my religion, things that's contradicted to me as a Muslim person. That's not how I wanted to raise my children. It just hurts my feelings. It just hurts me. I know that society will affect you, although like I will teach them Islamically at home. Like I'll teach them Quran, I'll teach them how to do wudu, I'll teach them how to pray, I'll teach them the pillars of Islam and all those stuff. But every time that I took them to school, they are getting other education and hearing other things and normalizing things that is not normal to me as a Muslim person at all. So that's not where I want them to be. That's not where I want them to grow up. That was just too contradicted to me as a Muslim person. The day that I moved to Egypt, I felt like something went off my shoulders, and that was amazing. I felt so much relief. You know, right away when we came here, we hear the adhan, and to me it was exciting. Alhamdulillah, you know, finally we are in a Muslim country. Finally my children are able to hear the adhan from their own home. It was amazing. The masjid is like right across from my apartment at the time, but now the masjid is underneath me, like right under my apartment. In that alone is amazing. People who are around them are majority are Muslims, and this is where I wanted to raise my children. This is where I felt comfortable to live. Alhamdulillah, it was amazing. And then after being here for like right away, like after a few days, I started taking them to madrasas. They're able to make Muslim friends, going to Quran school, learning all this stuff, which was great. Like they will come home, they'll tell me like, Mom, the teacher told me this today. Mom, this is how you do wudu. Mom, can I read, you know, like that ayah and that ayah too? And that was amazing. Like to me, that was huge, and I love it. That's how I want them to grow up. And sometimes even the other Muslims children, like when they are playing with them, when they are talking, you know, like the only thing, sometimes kids are kids, you know, they can be naughty and stuff, but a lot of times they may hear the other kids some good stuff, and that's based on our deen, that's based on our religion, which is great, alhamdulillah. And that's what I always wanted. Like when I took them to the playground, I don't want them to see or hear something that's contradicted to my religion. And in here, I'm not worried about that, alhamdulillah. On top of that, right now my children are in Azhar. A couple of months later, I signed them up in Azhar, and we came here in June, and September they started going to school, to Azhar school, Azhari school. Inside the school, they teach them both Islamic education and secular education, which is great, which is amazing. They teach them Quran, they teach them Aqidah, they teach them English, math, science, like all those stuff, which is great, alhamdulillah, because they are getting both of the education. Also, they have a lot of tourists that comes home, and the tourists that come to our house are Muslim tourists. I'm not worried about things that they are saying to my children. I'm not worried about them feeding my children wrong aqidah or feeding my children something that I am not comfortable with, alhamdulillah. And that alone is amazing, it's great, and that's what I want them to have. And on top of that, I felt like they are getting better education now, because not only that they are getting tourists that comes home, not only that they go to Islamic school that is building their Islamic foundation, but also myself, I help them, I sit with them, I read to them, and all that is helping it, alhamdulillah. On top of that, it's cheaper for me. It's something that I can afford it as a person, alhamdulillah. The life in here is something that I can afford. Although Egypt is a very diverse country that have people from different countries, people have different backgrounds, they have different colors, different nationalities, different religions, so many things. But at the end of the day, majority of the people that are living in Egypt are Muslims, and that is what satisfied me. Every morning when my children are going to school, the bus that they are riding, it plays Quran, and to me that's amazing. Every day when they are coming back from the school, again they listen to Quran to their way home, and that again is amazing. Hearing the adhan 5 times daily is amazing. Alhamdulillah. I didn't had all that before I came here, and it's something that I should thank Allah for it. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So I'm a lot more happier now than I ever was before. I hope everyone that's watching this video enjoy as much as I enjoyed making it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the below. I will answer them to you, inshallah. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe so that you are able to see the other videos that I make. Until I see you again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.